A heartily welcome to all of you. I'm speaking Stella from the CA Sansar. Today we are going to talk about very wonderful topic, which is GSTR 9, and it's our pleasure to welcome the ma'am, CA Lina ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, to giving your valuable time and also it's for joining us. Before I begin, I request to all of you those are watching us to subscribe our YouTube channel CA Sansar. And also, if you're watching this video, so do not forget to like, comment, and drop your question in the comment section. Now, I would like to invite to ma'am to share her thoughts on the today topic.
Uh, Thank you, Stella, for this wonderful warm introduction and welcome. I'm deeply honored, and I also would want to take this opportunity to thank CS Ansar for giving me yet one more chance to be on their esteemed portal. Now, a few days back, we had spoken about the major amendments in GSTR 990 for financial year 24-25 onwards. Description of that video is link is being added into the description box. Pursuant to the video being uploaded, we received several queries. Most of these queries are in relation to Table 6 and Table 8 in the amended form GSTR 9. So, our today's discussion is centered on Table 6 and 8 of GSTR 9 for financial year 24-25 onwards. Before going through that, it would be ideal to view the video on the major amendments as this is in relation and in pursuant to that video. Coming back to Table 6. Now, as we know that GSTR 9 of 24-25 has undergone major amendments. As already explained by me, these amendments are made so as to bring GSTR 9 more in line to be a reporting tool for the department rather than being a simple compliance exercise. With this end in view, a lot of amendments have been made in GSTR 9 so that the data now filled up in 9 would give a complete clarity to the department regarding ITC claimed, taxes paid, and the supplies of the taxpayer. In that relation, major amendments have been brought about in Table 6 and Table 8. Since today's discussion is on Table 6 and 8, let us start with Table 6. The Table 6 is already on the screen because this discussion being more technical, it is ideal if you follow the form. Now, Table 6 is in relation to details of ITC availed during the financial year, and Table 6A auto-populates the figures of ITC from the 3B of the taxpayer. This Table 6A auto-populates the figures that has been claimed by the taxpayer in the monthly and quarterly returns. There is no change in this table. This is the same as it was last year and the year before. By way of amendment, Table 6A1 has been introduced and followed by Table 6A2. As already discussed by me, 6A1 pertains to ITC of past year included in 3B of the present year. Why this happens, as we know that in our claim of ITC, the Act allows us to claim the ITC of one financial year up to a specified period in next year. Now, what used to happen when we used to make the GSTR 9 before 24-25, our 6A column, which used to auto-populate from 3B, included ITC of the current year as well as ITC of preceding year, which is a part of the current year's claim. There was no separate reporting needed for past year's ITC claimed in this year. Or rather, let me put it this way, in that your invoices which were in 23-24 raised by the vendor or reported by the vendor in April to October 24, the claim is in financial year 24-25. There was no proper reporting till last year about this. This was automatically included in CA 6A column 6A. Now, because of this, there used to be a lot of confusion because your figures, there would be a mismatch vis-a-vis the 2B, leading to a lot of notices. To address this gap, 6A1 has been introduced, but 6A1 has been introduced with a catch. It will only include the figures of last year's, excluding the ITC reclaim under Rule 37 and 37A. This has already been discussed. I'm not delving deep into it. I'm straight away coming to Table 6A2, which is the difference between 6A and 6A1. That means 6A2 is nothing but your ITC arising from 3B on account of invoices of the present financial year, excluding the last year. This is column 6A2, which has been introduced. After that, we have column 6B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I, which remains unchanged. Though they remain unchanged, it is relevant for our discussion. In this match, without understanding what these figures are, one cannot absolutely understand the repercussion of table 6J, which now requires a little bit more importance. Now, 6B to 6H is the bifurcation of the ITC that has been claimed in your 3B under different heads. ITC arising on account of inward supplies, ITC arising out of a reverse charge mechanism, on account of imports and input tax credit of ISDs. And also your reclaims are referred, including table 6H. Aggregate of 6B to 6H is contained in table 6I. Table 6J says it is a difference between I minus A2. This is one change. Another change that we need to note: earlier 6J was the difference between I and A, because there was no A1, A2. So what used to happen over here, there would always be a mismatch. Your column J will always have some mismatch naturally, because 6B to 6H is a breakup of your ITC that you're claiming on account of supplies for the present year, whereas 6A included last year's also. So obviously there was a mismatch. This mismatch led to a lot of litigation and notices. To address this gap, 6A1 has been introduced. So yours and 6J now focuses on the difference between breakup of ITC for the current year vis-a-vis the total ITC claim for the current year as reported in 6A2. As per the FAQs released, ideally, this difference in table 6J should be 0. And they're right, because see, your total ITC claim arising from 3B for present financial year, if it is 100, and if I were to add up the different heads on account of which I'm claiming the ITC, it should add up to the same amount. If there is a difference, that means there is some reporting error on our side. We need to investigate and understand and minimize the difference. Ideal correct situation would be the difference, there shouldn't have remain any difference in table 6J. So this is about table 6, wherein reporting has been changed by including a column for ITC of last year, so that we can reconcile the ITC of current year vis-a-vis the breakup. This leads to enhanced better reporting and minimizing scrutiny notices on account of ITC difference. So this is on account of table 6. Now we come to table 8, which is going to be another important point of our discussion today. Now table 8 relates to other ITC related information, and 8A says ITC as per GSTR 2B. It will auto-populate the figures of 2B. Before I go into tables 8A, B, C, D, all of each of which are important, I would like to bring to your attention that table 8 focuses on ITC available to you on the portal. So let us just slightly touch the difference between table 6 and table 8. Table 6 focuses on the ITC that you have claimed as a taxpayer, and table 8 makes available to you the figure that is on the portal in GSTR 2B, so that you know that you're eligible for this amount of ITC. The idea of table 8 is to understand how much were you eligible for and how much have you claimed. Now table 8A is relevant as it has gone a lot of changes in the past few years. Presently, it is reading ITC as per GSTR 2B, and it will auto-populate the figure. Before understanding the implication of this, we need to go slightly a couple of years back to understand the entire implication. Till financial year 22-23, column 8A used to auto-populate figures on the basis of your 2A, because 2B had not become the base data for claiming ITC under section 16 till then. So till financial year 22-23, ITC in column 8A used to be auto-populated from your GSTR 2A till September or November, as and when the dates were changed. Um, However, for financial year 23-24, the base document was changed to 2B from 2A. This was done to align GSTR 9 with the amendment in section 16, which made 2B the base document for claiming ITC. But in 23-24, the 2B figures that used to auto-populate were period-based. That means figures appearing in your 2B from April 2023 to March 2024 used to auto-populate in 2B. How this was a problem? That needs to be understood by referring to table 8C. I'm coming to table 8C before 8B because that is how one can understand the rationale behind the amendment that has now been brought about. Now, table 8C speaks about ITC of current year, which is going to be claimed in next year. So, as we were discussing at the time of introduction of 6A1 as well, that when we are claiming ITC, it is not necessarily ITC of one financial year, past year, on at the same time present year's ITC may be claimed in next year. So 8C seemingly says that okay, whatever ITC is arising out of your invoices for present financial year, which you're not claiming in this year but in subsequent year, needs to be reported in 8C. Now, for financial year 23-24, this was a problem. Why? Because your ITC figure that was generating in table 8A was picked up from your to be reported till March only. That means ITC that appeared in 2B of April to October is not a part of this. However, in 8C, you are expected to report figures that you're claiming then. So that would lead to a negative reporting or a negative figure in 8D. This led to a lot of confusion amongst taxpayers, and the CBIC sought to address this issue by way of an advisory dated 19th December 24. It addressed a lot of concerns. However, one that solution was not a foolproof solution. So to address that gap, the base report though kept the same, the logic of 8 has now changed. As per the FAQ, 8A though will auto-populate figures from your 2B. However, it will now include all the invoices of financial year 24-25, even if it is reflected in 2B of April to subsequent financial year till specified period. Similarly, invoices of past year 23-24, for which ITC we are claiming in this year, will not reflect over here. In other words, your 8A will now give you the value of all ITC that arises on account of your inward supplies for the period which were invoices were raised in April 24 to March 25, even if it is reflected in subsequent years 2B. This has been done so that your figure of 8C can now be related to 8A because 8C concentrates on ITC which we are claiming next year. Since your logic of 8A has now changed and it will include all invoices, it is understood that your 8C figure will now be a part of 8A. For this ease, we can also download the table which is auto populating here in an Excel facility to compare the figures. Of course, that Excel will have a few more things which are not going to be auto populated in 8A, and that will include reverse charge and the rest of it. So that is how your logic of 8A now stands explained, that it will include all your invoices for present financial year and it will not include invoices of last year even if it's reflecting in 2B. Now we come to table 8B. 8B also has gone through a change. 8B now will auto-populate your figures of ITC as per 6B. Now, if I go to 6B, just a second, I'll just show you 6B. 6B is ITC arising on account of inward supplies in current financial year. That figure will auto-populate in your 8B now. Earlier, figure of 6I used to auto-populate. That means it included everything, including the reversals. That is where the changes happened. Table 6I has now been delinked from table 8B. That means 8B will now only report ITC on account of inward supplies. Those ITC which you have claimed, reversed, and reclaimed, the reclaimed ITC will not feature in 8B. The rationale for this is your 2B will have only the figures of inward supplies. It will not have a reclaimed figure. So if reclaimed figures which were earlier a part of 8B were there, leading to a misreporting or an incorrect or a negative figure of 8D, which created confusion. So now that has been done away with. It will only include figures arising on account of inward supplies. So, in the light of this explanation, if we now read the tables 8A, 8B, 8C, we will see that the difference in 8D now is more logical, in as much as 8A will only include your to be figures, all to be figures rather, for the present financial year. 8B will include the ITC that you're claiming in this year. 8C will include ITC that you are claiming in next year. So 8D difference will now be because of your reversals. A little bit of clarification on 8C is also required over here. It has been clarified in the FAQs that your ITC reclaim figures will not be a part of your 8C. The reason is that it does not appear in 2B. When you're reclaiming, it doesn't appear in 2B. So that at least 8D will give you a more clearer view. If there is any confusion as to the reporting of 8C, the FAQs has clarified that the simplest formula that one can follow is download your 8F, or if it's appearing in the 2B figure and you're claiming it in next year, that figure should be reported in table 8C. That way, the difference in 8D will be more logical and it will not be negative like it was for last year. So these are the changes that have happened in your have been done in table 6 and 8. As we can see that these amendments have been done so that there is better reporting, more clarity in understanding the figures, and that GSTR 9 can now give a better and a more logical understanding of the ITC that one has claimed, how has one claimed, the breakup of the claim, and what is the to be ITC available to the assessee, and how much of it has been claimed by you in this year and next year, how much is it remaining. That, and if the remaining, the 8D figure, one can analyze to understand whether it's correct or not. Now, all these things I have put in a small PPT, which Stella will now share with you on the screen. The first slide, please. Yeah. Okay. So, now this slide brings out what I've already told you, that table 6 and table 8, the major difference is the base from where the data is auto-populated. In your table 6, the data is auto-populating from your GSTR 3B, meaning the ITC that you have claimed. And for your table 8, the document is 2B from the portal. Of course, and it will include all your invoices, even if it's reflected in the subsequent financial year. Coming to table 6J difference, which is another point that one needs to understand, is 6J is now a difference of table 6A2 and 6I. 6A2 pertains only to the ITC claimed in current financial year. 6I is nothing but an aggregate of table 6B to 6H, which is the breakup of the ITC claimed by you. Ideally, there should be no difference in your 6J because your breakup has to match with the aggregate. If there's a difference, at least one needs to understand, okay, where have we erred in reporting or in recording it in books. Then table 8A amendments, till 22-23, the base document was 2A. 23-24 shifted to 2B. And now 24-25, though the base document has been kept the same, the scope has been widened to address the gaps that were felt at the time of filing of your GSTR 9 for financial year 23-24. Regarding table 8C, a simple way to understand, we have to include ITC arising from all your inward supplies reported in 2B, whether they claimed in next year in the specified period. Reclaims will not be a part of 8C because they've already featured in your 2B1, so you cannot report it twice. So this is what has happened in table 6, table 8. I hope I've been able to explain and address the queries raised in these tables. However, if any further clarifications are required, please feel free to reach out to me. So that is all from my side, Stella.
Such a wonderful you explained, ma'am. Very well you explained, and hope those who are watching us they understood very well. And if there will be any doubts, so you guys can you drop your question in the comment section and we will answer you definitely. And thank you so much, ma'am. Again, I want to say you to joining us and also giving your valuable time to us. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Stella. And I would also like to thank you for being such a wonderful host. And thank you, CS Ansar, for letting me be a part of this discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.